In this video, it is a continuation of Riemann integration. I consider in this video functions defined by definite integrals. First, what are the functions defined by definite integrals? Definition and two theorems. First theorem is every integral function is continuous. Second is every integral function is differentiable. Then fundamental theorem of integral calculus. It leads to fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Very important topic. So I start with this definition. What are the functions defined by definite integrals? First definition is like this. Let fx be integrable, bounded and integrable in closed interval AB. It is bounded and integrable. Then integral a to b f of x dx exists. Correct? Exists. Now suppose t be any arbitrary point of AB. Any arbitrary point. Now we define phi of t is integral a to t f of x dx. Now t is any point of this AB. T is in between a and b or maybe equal to a and b. Now a is fixed here. Integral a to t fx dx depends on t here. Therefore, this phi of t is called integral function of fx. This phi of t is called the integral function of integrable function f. This is the definition. So definition is quite simple. Try to understand the definition first. Fx is integrable, that is integral a to b fx dx exists, and t be any arbitrary point of AB. Then a to t fx dx is phi of t, and this phi of t is called the integral function of f. Now we study this phi of t. This is integral function of fx. We study this phi of t. First we prove that this phi of t is continuous. It is continuous in AB. That I take as a theorem. So first theorem is like this. Take this as a theorem. The integral function of the integrable function f is continuous. This is the theorem. The integral function of integrable function is continuous. How to prove this one? Proof of this. You know the definition of integral function. Definition of this. Let fx be bounded and integrable in AB. So I explain the proof of this. Fx is bounded and integrable in AB. Let phi of t is integral a to t fx dx. What is t? T belongs to AB. Then this is called integral function of this fx. Now let c belongs to AB. B any arbitrary point. C is any arbitrary point of AB. Now we consider phi of c plus h, where h is positive here. H is positive. What is phi of c plus h? C and C plus H belongs to AB. We have defined phi of t by this. So what is phi of C plus H? a to c plus h fx dx. Refer this. Phi of t is this. So it is phi of c plus h, a to c plus h. What is phi of c? It is a to c fx dx. A to c fx dx. Now we make use of one corollary here. What is the corollary? First let us consider this. Phi of c plus h minus phi of c, or I take mod. Phi of c plus h minus phi of c. Is it required mod here? Yes, let us take mod. It is a to c plus h fx dx minus a to c fx dx. What we are proving here? We are proving this phi of t is continuous in AB. You know the definition of continuity. We use definition of continuity here. You are all familiar with continuity and differentiability of a function. Now I take pi of c plus h minus pi of c. Therefore pi of c plus h minus pi of c is equal to, now what is minus a to c fx dx? It is plus to c to a. C to a to c plus h can be written as c to c plus h fx dx. We have used this here. Minus a to c is plus c to a. C to a to c plus h is c to c plus h f of x dx. Here we use one result. We have studied inequality of definite integrals. What is that inequality? I directly write here. M into b minus a less than or equal to a to b f of x dx, which is less than or equal to capital M into b minus a when b is greater than or equal to a. Now after this inequality we have proved many corollaries. Now we use this corollary here. Corollary is like this. It is the inequality. Corollary is since fx is bounded, there exists k, so that mod fx is less than or equal to k, and integral a to b f of x dx is less than or equal to k into mod b minus a. Mod b minus a. After this inequality, we have proved this. If fx is bounded, that is mod fx is less than or equal to k and continuous, then a to b fx dx is less than or equal to k into mod b minus a. We make use of this result. Now, since fx is bounded, mod fx is less than or equal to k, so we have it is less than or equal to k into mod of c plus h minus c, because what is b here? C plus h. What is a? C. Therefore pi of c plus h minus pi of c is less than or equal to k into h, because mod h is positive here. It is mod h is h. Now let us try mod h only. Now what is h? H is arbitrary here. Therefore we take, suppose mod h is less than epsilon by k. Then what happens? Pi of c plus h minus pi of c is less than epsilon, because substitute here mod h is less than epsilon by k. Now what does this imply? This implies pi is continuous. Pi is continuous at c, because we have obtained this one. Finally we have obtained this. There exists epsilon. What is epsilon here? We have chosen epsilon like this, greater than 0, such that mod pi of c plus h minus pi of c is less than epsilon. Whenever mod c plus h minus c is less than delta. So delta is, you can find out what is delta here. Therefore by definition of continuity, pi is continuous at C. Now what is C? C is arbitrary. It is arbitrarily taken. Arbitrarily taken. Therefore, pi is continuous in entire interval AB. So this is the first theorem. We have used here this corollary to inequality. Using that, we have proved that pi is continuous at arbitrary point C. Therefore, it is continuous in entire interval AB. So this is the first property of integral function. First property. Second property is, this also we take this as a theorem. The integral function of a integrable function. I take the statement here. The integral function pi of an integrable function f is continuous and pi dash is equal to f. This theorem leads to an important result. We define that as a primitive. We define next what is primitive. See, understand the statement of the theorem here. The first part already we have proved. The integral function pi of an integrable function f is continuous. Up to this we have already proved. The integral function is continuous. Second part is, this is important, we have to prove that pi dash is f. Pi dash. How to define derivative? Suppose f is a function, how to define derivative of f? It is defined as limit f of a plus h minus f of a upon h as h tends to 0. This is derivative of f at the point A and it is denoted by f dash a. Correct? F dash a. Now, to prove that pi dash is equal to f, what do we have to prove? We have to prove that pi dash a is, this limit exists. What is the limit? F of a plus h minus f of a upon h tends to 0 exists. We use this definition of derivative. Now how do you start here? What is given? Pi is integrable function of f. Therefore, pi of t is integral a to t fx dx, where t belongs to AB. T belongs to AB. Now, we take C is any arbitrary point of AB and h is a positive number, however small it is. Then, what is pi of C plus h minus pi of C? As in the previous theorem, pi of C plus h is a to C plus h fx dx minus a to c fx dx. Correct? Pi of c plus h and pi of c. It is a to not a to c to c plus h, c to c plus h f of x dx, because this minus a to c becomes plus c to a fx dx. So it is c to a to c plus h. Both so become c to c plus h. So it is c to c plus h f of x dx. Now, therefore, pi of c plus h minus pi of c is c to c plus h fx dx. Now again we use a corollary of inequality. What is that corollary? Corollary is like this. If f is continuous in a closed interval AB, we use this result. In a closed interval AB, closed interval AB. Then there exists a number C lying in AB, such that integral a to b fx dx is f of c into b minus c. We use this corollary here. We have already proved all these corollaries. So the inequalities and the consequent results are very important. We will use here that result. I think all of you followed this step. It is quite straightforward. Pi of c plus h minus pi of c is c to c plus h fx dx. Now apply this result. F is continuous in a closed interval AB. Then there exists a number c lying in AB such that a to b fx dx is f of c into b minus c. Now I take that point C in between A and B. What are A and B here? C and C plus h. Therefore, pi of C plus h minus pi of C is equal to B minus C. C plus h minus C into f of C plus theta h. C plus theta h. What is theta? See, pi of c plus h minus pi of c is this. F of c plus theta h. Using that corollary of inequality, I think all of you you followed up to this step. H into f of c plus theta h. Now take limit on both sides. Limit h tends to 0. Pi of c plus h minus pi of c upon h is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of c plus theta h, taking limit on both sides. Now what is this limit? It is nothing but pi dash c. It is, you know, the definition of derivative at a point c, it is pi dash c. Now as h tends to 0, right hand side becomes f of c. Therefore, pi dash c is equal to f of c. Now, what is c? C is any arbitrary point. Therefore, since c is any arbitrary point, we will have pi dash is equal to f. Therefore, the integral function of integrable function is, it is continuous and pi dash is equal to f. Now, this gives an important definition here. We define now the definition primitive. What is primitive? And also this, using this we define or we state and prove one more important theorem, that is called fundamental theorem of integral calculus, and that theorem is very useful in practical while evaluating the problems on definite integrals. We use that fundamental theorem, because using this definite integral as a limit of a sum, even it is difficult to calculate simple problems like this, 0 to pi by 2 sin x dx. It is very difficult to evaluate such problems, but using this fundamental theorem we can easily evaluate. Now see the definition of primitive. It is like this. Suppose fx is bounded and integrable in AB, and there exists a function phi such that its derivative exists. And we have pi dash is equal to f. Then this pi is called primitive of f. I explain once again. Fx is bounded and integrable in AB. Pi is a function so that its derivative exists. Derivative of pi exists, and pi dash is equal to f. then pi is called primitive of f. Pi is called the primitive of f. Primitive of f. This is the definition. I continue the next, that is fundamental theorem of integral calculus in the next period. Next period means in the next video. The theorem is like this. Integral, if pi dash is equal to f, then integral a to b f of x dx is equal to pi of b minus pi of a. This what you are using while evaluating definite integral in elementary definite integrals. That means in PUC classes you have used this as definition of definite integral to evaluate definite integral. This is called fundamental theorem of integral calculus. I prove this in next period. Okay, thank you.